As we sit here in 2021, I think sustainability continues to be one of the hottest topics in the retail industry. And there's a reason for that. America is basically drowning in garbage. We throw away 3 times as much stuff today as we did 60 years ago. And if you look at textile trash in particular, it's grown 9-fold since 1960. So more than ever, we're buying cheap clothing, we're wearing it a few times maybe, and then we're throwing it away. So I think that's part of the reason you're starting to hear more about something called re-commerce. So basically taking stuff that already exists in the world and repurposing it, somehow reselling it, finding a way to get more life out of used stuff rather than, rushing to buy something that's brand new.
It's no different than certified pre-owned Lexus. When you think about quality items, think about Patagonia or Levi's or Eileen Fisher. These are items that people enjoy, but they've got a lot of life in them. And oftentimes we change sizes, we're looking for something different. And for brands to be able to make it easy when you're done to hand those items back and get the item you want, that's what we're all looking for.
Trove is a small startup out of San Francisco that runs resale programs for big brands behind the scenes. One of their customers is Levi's, and as of October, you can now go into a Levi's store with an old pair of jeans. Maybe they haven't fit since college, and you can give them back and get a gift card in return. And then what happens with that old pair of jeans is that Levi's will send it directly to Trove, which has a warehouse out in California. And they have 300 plus workers who are going to take a look at that pair of jeans. They're going to note, okay, maybe there's holes in the knees, any other peculiarities. They're going to clean it, they're going to photograph it, and then they're going to list it online for sale. So as a shopper, you can now go to Levi's website, and there's a tab on there for used products. And if you end up purchasing one, it's Trove that's going to put it in Levi's packaging and send it to your door. There have long been, obviously, thrift stores and vintage shops that buy and sell used clothing. But I would say in the last decade or so, we've seen a bunch of online marketplaces pop up that buy and sell used clothing. So think about a Poshmark, think about a ThredUp, the Real for luxury items. And all of these are online marketplaces, and it all cuts out the brands though. So this is where Trove is different. Trove is built as a white label company, so it's working with brands directly to help brands get into this space. It's estimated that secondhand products represent a $28 billion industry, and that's expected to more than double to $64 billion by 2024.
The move to re-commerce is a massive customer shift, and third-party marketplaces like the ThredUps and Reals have credentialized it. When brands realize they've got to be staying with customers in this massive trend toward resale, we make it easy. We provide the technology that allows brands to be able to buy back these items and make them sellable. Every item here is unique. So every item has its own description, its own photograph, its own individual identity. And so we make processing those easy. That's what we do.
Trove is still tiny, but it's growing fast. It's raised $45 million in funding, a lot of that coming from investors who have an interest in sustainability issues. And last year, the number of items it processed tripled to 600,000. There's some skepticism about how many brands will really get into this and whether the brands that do are basically treating it as a marketing stunt rather than as a real business opportunity. Like they just want to cater to young shoppers. They want to stay relevant and check that box when it comes to sustainability. And certainly it's strange to see brands that have long push this idea that you need new, you need the latest style, suddenly saying, actually, why don't you come and buy something that we made a year ago or 10 years ago, or maybe even longer. And it's also unclear whether consumers are going to continue buying used clothing at the same rate as they are today. As we all know, fashion is notoriously fickle. So what's in vogue today could quickly go out of style tomorrow. Nobody knows. You have to acknowledge that there's a lot of waste in the fashion industry. So this is a way to reuse a lot of the products that are sitting in our closets that are going unused.